Hi everyone! There are many stock brokers available for those who live in Europe, but choosing the right one might be a daunting task. In this video, I'll review 5 stock brokerages for long-term investment, so not for CFD or day trading. So there are 5 stock brokers. The first one is Trading 212, and then Degiro, Etoro, Revolut and Trade Republic. They are not order based on which one I think it's better, because depending on the country you live in and your investment plan, one might be more suitable than the other. So in this video, I'll review some of the important criteria that would be good to consider for long-term investment. And then using those criteria, I will provide a quick comparison between the 5 of them. And then I'll go into more details showing you how the application look like and my personal experience with each of them, because I've used them for at least 6 months. And just a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. So this is just my opinion for educational purpose only. And for transparency, I live in Germany and I still have active account with all brokerage except for Revolut that I just closed this month. You're welcome to watch the whole video or go to specific brokerage section. So the timing detail is available on the description below the video, or you could just go to the video timeline and click the section that you'd like to see. So in my opinion, there are 6 different criteria that you might want to consider in selecting the right brokerage for you. The first one is fee. It's good to understand what are the different types of fee that the brokerage would charge, and then how they are calculated. Because it might seem small at first, but depending on your frequency of transaction, the total amount that you accumulated from this fee could be significant, which then limit the total return that you get. So this fee might include deposit or withdrawal fee, and then of course the transaction fee, the fee that you pay when you buy or sell your investment, and then currency exchange fee as well. So this is when the stock that you're buying, for example, is in different currency than the currency for your account. So the second one is, what are the investment products available for you to invest? So for long-term investment, it depends on your plan. If you like to pick your own stocks, you would care which stock market exchange is available on the platform. And then if you don't want to pick your own stock, you might choose ETF or mutual fund instead. Personally, I like ETF better because the fee is much lower, and most of the time the performance are comparable as well. And recently cryptocurrency is also becoming more popular, so it's a risky investment that you could allocate a small amount, but because it's risky, not all of the brokers that we are going to discuss today support investing in crypto. And the third one is fractional share support. Fractional share support is a great feature to have, especially if you just started with investing, because it allows you to get your feet wet, start buying companies that you're interested in. And then it's also great if you have a limited amount of fund, or if the price of the company that you're interested in is out of reach. For example, Amazon is a great company, but it costs $3,000 a share, and with fractional share you could just buy 0.1 and $300. And also, if the stock that you're buying is a dividend paying stock, you would get a proportional amount of the dividend as well normally. The fourth criteria is a tax certificate. So normally every year you would need to report the capital gain when you do your tax declaration. So some brokerage might collect the tax automatically for you, and they provide tax certificate that you can readily use to fill in your tax declaration form. But other brokers, like most of the brokers that we are going to discuss today, don't actually collect capital gain taxes automatically. So you would have to see if the information they provide is sufficient for your tax declaration purpose. And the fifth one is, how reliable is the stock brokerage service? So it's good to know if they are regulated by top-tier financial authority, and how much is your investment guaranteed by them. So I won't go into detail in this video. All of the stock brokers that we are going to discuss has investment protection at least up to 20,000 euro. Also, related to reliability of the service, sometimes a stock brokerage might look good on paper, but you would get more idea of how reliable they are once you use it for a longer term, and how good their customer service is once you actually run into issue. But I'll talk more of my experience on that later. And lastly, does the broker support portfolio transfer? So I think this is important if you have a large portfolio. Having this option is great because you won't be forced to sell or liquidate all your positions when you have to move, for example, to a different country. So now I'm going to compare the 5 different brokers across the different criteria that we just discussed. So the first one is in terms of fees, all of them provide a relatively low fee. However, Trading 212 is one of the lowest because they don't charge a transaction fee. But they do, however, recently introduce currency exchange fee, which is 0.15%. So if your Trading 212 account is in euro, and you want to buy stocks in USD, there will be currency exchange. And also there's also deposit fee. If you have deposit more than 2,000 euro, the next deposit, if you're using bank transfer, it's remaining free, but there's a 1 day delay before the fund is available. The instant method using credit card or Google Pay, you will have to pay 0.7%. And then Degiro is not as low as Trading 212, but it's still a good option, especially for buying US stocks. There is a fixed and variable amount of the cost. So for US stocks, for example, the fee is 50 cent euro plus 0.004 times the number of shares you're buying. So it's still relatively okay, but if you're thinking of buying penny stock or stock that are less than $5 on value, then the total amount of fee doesn't really make sense here, because it will be significant amount of your total investment. And Etoro is another one with a low fee. However, Etoro only support one currency, which is USD. So whenever you deposit money, you will be charged with relatively high currency exchange fee. And when you withdraw money, you will be charged with $5 per withdrawal. And but after that, there's no transaction fee when you buy or sell your shares. But there's also inactivity fee. So if you haven't logged in to your account after 1 year, they will charge $10 per month. So the next one is Revolut. Revolut is a good app to have if you already have the saving account, because depending on your membership, you will get a free amount, like a certain number of free trade per month. And if you have exceeded that amount, then the next time you buy, you will pay like €1 or $1, depending on the stock currency that you are buying. It's a percentage of your total portfolio value. So recently they increased it from 0.1% to 0.12%. So I find that a bit of a turn off, because as my portfolio grow, if I have a really large portfolio, I don't like the idea of me paying more as my portfolio grow. So maybe for a small portfolio, let's say like 10,000 euro, you will have to pay like 12 euro per year. But then when your portfolio size increase significantly, you will pay more and more. The last one is Trade Republic. So Trade Republic has provide like a fixed cost, which is €1 when you buy and when you sell. The second factors here is, what are the investment products available for you to invest? So most of them provide stock and ETF, and most of them provide US stock market as well. So for Revolut here, they only provide US stock exchange at the moment, and there's no ETF. And if you are interested in crypto, which is becoming more popular recently, only Etoro and Revolut supported it. But however, in terms of fee for cryptocurrency, Etoro is much cheaper compared to Revolut. The next one is fractional share support. So Trading212 support fractional shares. You can check the individual stock that you want to buy, like in the detail. There will be information on the minimum amount that you can buy. But for the Giro, it's not supported. You have to buy the whole share. For Etoro, it is supported as well. Same with Revolut and Trade Republic. You have to buy a whole share here. However, they have a saving plan allowing you to buy share on a schedule. So it is automatic. So you can, for example, buy share of Tesla monthly, and you can spend as little as 100 euro per month. However, compared to the other brokerage which support fractional share, you can buy fractional share on demand, but on Trade Republic, you'll have to follow the schedule for the saving plan. So related to saving plan, I think it's a really good options to have, especially if you invest in ETF for long term, and having it scheduled and automatic, it remove like emotion out of the decision-making process. And it is supported in Trading212 and Trade Republic, but scheduled buying is not available in the Degiro. So the next one is tax certificate. So out of the 5 stock brokerage, only Trade Republic collect capital gain taxes automatically as you sell shares or ETF. So it makes it much more convenient, especially because depending on the stock types or ETF, the tax calculation could be different. And if you don't want to do it yourself, and Trade Republic is available on the country where you live in, I think it's a good option. For the other stock brokerage, they provide a financial summary. They typically include the total profit and loss, and also dividend that you get. And there are a different level of details. I think the Giro has more detail, especially it's good to see like the withholding tax for dividend. For some of them, I can show you later as we go through the individual stock brokerage, how the tax certificate look like. So the next one is portfolio transfer. Again, this is probably more relevant if you have a large portfolio because there is fee involved in transferring to a different brokerage. But for me personally, I think it's good to have this option, especially if I have stock positions or ETF that I want to keep for a long term. So it's good to have the option to be able to transfer them to a different brokerage. So only the Giro and Trade Republic, as far as I know, support this option. For the Giro, there's fee in transferring your stock position. It's $10 per or 10 euro per position. So it's only worth it if you have a significant amount to transfer. Some of the stock brokers that we discussed have an interesting feature that I will go on more detail later. So for example, Trading212 has a pie library option, which is a good feature to automatically invest and diversify with the different allocations specified on a single pie. And also they support ISA account for those of you who live in the UK. So it's a tax advantage account. So for UK residents, Trading212 could be a good option. And for the Giro, so far I have found their service to be reliable. They rarely change their terms and agreement. And when they do, they always communicate this way in advance. And if you don't care as much about the fee, especially if you don't trade frequently, the Giro could be a good option for long-term investment. So Etoro, one of the drawback is the currency exchange fee. But if you have income coming in USD, and if you buy mostly shares in the US stock market, and if you're thinking about investing in crypto as well, I think they are a good option to have. They also have social trading feature that I will discuss later when we review Etoro in more detail. So for Revolut is a good option, especially if you already have the saving account. Transferring money in and out from the saving account to the trading account is very convenient. And the amount of free trade really depends on your membership. So if you already have like a premium membership, it's a good option to make use of it. The custody fee is a bit of a turnoff, but Revolut investment service is quite new, so it's interesting to see how they evolve from here. Trade Republic, I think, is a no-brainer if you live in Germany, for example, and if you don't want to do your tax declaration by yourself, because they do it automatically for you and they collect the tax when you sell. Unfortunately, they are mobile only, and they're only available to residents of Germany, France, and Austria. So now I'm going to review each stock brokerage in more detail, showing you how the application look like, and also share some of my personal experience after using them for some time. So the first one is Trading 212. So let me open the application. So when you open an account with Trading 212, they also provide CFD account automatically. So make sure you're using the correct one. They also provide practice or demo accounts. So it's a good way to be more comfortable in using their platform. But once you're ready, you can deposit money. Like we discussed, with bank transfer, it's free, but it has 1 day delay usually for me. And with a more instant method like credit card, Google Pay, or Skrill, you'll have to pay 0.7% fee after you have transferred more than 2,000 euro. So for example, here $1,000, you'll pay $7 in fee. And in terms of the investment products available, as you can see, there are more than 3,000, close to 3,000 shares available from different countries. And they also provide ETFs, and some of them are good ones like S&P 500 index from Vanguard and iShares. So let's see how we can buy a stock in Trading 212. For example, we want to buy Apple. You can use the button here, buy button, to buy with market or limit order. So you can buy fractional shares with market order, but with limit order, you have to buy whole shares. And as you can see here, they provide basic information about the company, the PE ratio, or the financial information over the last few years. And in the instrument detail, you can see what is the minimum traded quantity. So you can find out if you want to buy a fraction of the shares. So they have a good desktop application as well. And here's how the advanced charting tools look like. They have some technical analysis options here if that's something that you want to do. Personally, I don't do it as much because I prefer to look at financial statement, cash balance, and forward guidance. But it's good to have this option. And in terms of yearly tax certificate, they provide a consolidated tax certificate. The information is pretty basic. They provide the summary of profit and loss and also dividend. It's unfortunate though because they don't provide withholding tax, which is required for reporting tax, like in Germany, for example. But there is a way for you to get this. Yeah, so to find out tax withholding for dividend, you can use the export history from the mobile app. You can select the date range from which you want to report on, and you can select which data should be included, transaction, dividend, and order. And then you can click the export button, and once it's available, you can download. So in the downloaded spreadsheet, you will be able to see how much withholding tax is collected already. So the other interesting feature of Trading 212 is the PI library. So a pie is a collection of shares, and there's a different allocation for each of stocks in a single pie. This is how the pie, the different pie that you can copy that is shared by different user. For example, here is ARK Invest Innovation pie, which is quite popular. You can see the allocation of different stocks in this pie, and you can copy this and then invest a certain amount of money, and it will be distributed as per the allocation within this pie. So it's a great way to do diversification, especially if you just started. But this is a new feature. I find it quite interesting. You'll be notified whenever the owner of the pie update them, but you have to update it manually though. And also remember, you will end up with a lot of fractional shares. And when you buy at this moment, Trading212 doesn't support limit order for fractional share. So that means if you want to sell a share position at a certain price, you will only be able to sell whole shares. So what I like about Trading212 is their mobile and desktop application, which is very clean and easy to use. And also, I have one of my income is in USD. So it's a great option to open a Trading212 account in the same currency, and I can use it to buy US stocks, and that way I can avoid currency conversion. But despite that, I also have some unpleasant experiences after using their service. Most recently, earlier this month, they changed their share dealing service agreement. And one of the amendment that affected me the most is that I'm not allowed to have more than one Invest or ISA account under my name. So at the time, I have two accounts, one in Euro and one in USD. And basically, they forced me to close one of my account in order to continue their agreement with me. So I contacted them to see if it's possible to transfer all of my open position from the Euro account to the USD account. And unfortunately, to my surprisement, it was not possible. And it was unfortunate because at the time, a market correction just started. So I have to sell everything and then just deal with the capital gain, which I was not planning to have. Yeah, the second one is, I think the communication from Trading212 could be a little bit better, especially if you have stocks affected by merger and acquisition or stock splits. So last year, I have share of Lifongo, which get acquired by Teladoc. And then as per their merger agreement, so my shares of Lifongo will be converted into shares of Teladoc, and I would get some special dividend as well. And many users, including myself, assume that would just happen automatically. But what happened during the merger date, all of my Lifongo share were liquidated, and it was not the best price. Had I known that it will be treated like that, I would have sold it earlier, and that just caused a lot of confusion for different users here. And yeah, and the other thing is, a couple of months ago, whenever the market opening Trading212 was almost impossible. I often get a failure to log in, or the service is very slow. And that's probably one of the reasons why they recently stopped taking new clients. And that's probably a good thing because they can focus on improving their service. And I've seen the improvement in the last few weeks. I have no issue logging in and accessing my investment when the market opened. So that's good. All of those problems don't necessarily stop me from using Trading212 because I have a large portfolio already with them. But at this point, I don't plan to increase my portfolio size I would like to see the service become more reliable, the communication becomes better, and hopefully there's no more new fees get introduced, just like the currency exchange and deposit fee recently. So moving on to the second brokerage is Degiro. As we discussed earlier, Degiro has fixed and variable component in its transaction fee. So for US stocks, it's 50 cent euro plus $0.04 per share. So it doesn't make sense to use it for buying penny stock or any stock that has $5 or less in value. The other cost is currency conversion fee, which is 0.1% for automatic conversion. But you could also do manual conversion, which is more favorable if you have a large transaction. So the amount for manual conversion is 10 euro plus 0.02%. There's also other situation that you might want to use manual conversion. For example, if you have shares in USD and then if you sell them and then want to use the proceed to buy a different shares also in USD, then it makes sense to use manual conversion instead, because it will use your USD balance instead of your euro or pounds balance that you have in your account, depending on the currency for your stock investment account. So let's look at the mobile application. It's pretty easy to use. It's pretty basic. It has all the information that you need. And let's see what are the investment products available. So there's you can see there are stocks from different country and different stock market exchange. Yeah, you can see all the countries here. And for USA, for example, all of the different stock market supported. And then let's say if we are ready to invest, then you can deposit the amount using the same bank account that you use to verify your Degiro account. So you can only deposit and withdraw money using this account. And let's say if you want to buy Apple share, the option here is pretty standard for stock brokerage. You can see the limit and market order, stop loss and stop limit, and so on. So using their desktop application, you can see a little bit more information similar to what you would see in Trading 212 application. What I like about Degiro is they have a centralized place where you see all the pending order. So unlike Trading 212, and here is how you can set your currency exchange to be manual or automatic for the different currency available in Degiro. So Degiro also has interactive chart tools if you want to do technical analysis. Yeah, see all the details there. This could be a good option. And then let's see how is the tax certificate. So for the yearly financial summary, it's a lot more detailed than what you get from Trading 212. You can see the standard amount of total gain and loss, and also the transaction fee and the currency exchange fee that you have accumulated over the year. Then they are very transparent on that. And also the dividend is a lot more detailed, which I like, because it has the withholding tax information and dividend by country, and they break it down as well from the different position paying dividend to you. While Degiro doesn't have the lowest trading fee out there, I've always found their service to be very reliable, and they're always very transparent on the fee they charge you, and they have always communicated any change in advance, and I've rarely have issue in accessing their application. So if you don't care about the trading fee as much, or especially if you don't buy or sell shares as frequent, Degiro could be a good option for long term, and I would be comfortable having a larger position on Degiro because they also have uh, support for transferring my position to a different brokerage shall I need it in the future. So the third stockbroker is Etoro. Etoro only support one currency, and so everything is in USD. So whenever you transfer money in and out, you pay currency conversion fee. And the fee is, in my opinion, quite high, which is 50 pips. So one pip is usually last decimal place on a quoted price, and almost all currency are 4 decimal places. So most of the time it will be equal to 0.5%. So if you compared earlier, for trading 212 is 0.15%, and for Degiro is 0.1%. So 0.5% is quite high. However, if you have income already in USD, and if you don't plan to withdraw the money frequently from Etoro, it could be worth it. Remember, when you withdraw money, you also pay $5 per withdrawal. So let's see how their mobile app look like. So now let's look at their mobile app. When you open Etoro account, you could also use or practice with their virtual account. It's a good way to get comfortable with the platform. But when you're ready, you can deposit with the different payment methods available. And the cheapest option is with bank transfer or instant transfer. And you can see the currency conversion there. With credit card or PayPal, it's actually a lot more expensive. But yeah, so I recommend using bank transfer, although, or with software here, which is instant. For example, if we want to buy Apple stock, you can see all the company information available on the stats tabs here. Actually, the amount of information provided here is quite detailed, including the financial summary, which I like. There's income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement of the last quarter, which is quite detailed. And also some investment thesis here, why it's good to buy the shares, which is a good point sometimes to start your investment, but always make a decision based on your own research. That would be my recommendation. Yeah, so this is the chart. There's also advanced charting tools available here for technical analysis on their mobile app directly. So that is great. And when you're ready to buy shares, you can enter the amount of money or the unit that you want to buy. And remember to see here that you're buying the underlying asset and not using leverage. I wouldn't recommend using leverage because it will multiply the risk for you. And that's one thing that I don't like, because Etoro combine their investment with the CFD account, unlike trading 212. Yeah. And what else you can see? So one of the interesting feature for Etoro is the social trading. So you can actually copy other people trading activities. You can see the list of people with the best performance, and when you have a good performance yourself, other people could copy you and you get paid, which is an interesting feature. So you can see here what are the other people investment risks and activities, what they have in their portfolio. So you can decide for yourself if you want to copy them. So personally, I prefer to pick my own stock and do my own research, but everyone preference is different. So the other feature here is they have like a news feed feature similar to social media. It's a great way to discuss about stocks or ETF or cryptocurrency that you're passionate about. So yeah, it's a very interesting feature. And yeah, One thing that I just find out as well, they have a premium membership, which they call Etoro Club, which is different tier, with the higher tier providing uh, exclusive service, like no withdrawal fee or discount or exemption from exchange fee, subscription to Wall Street Journal, and so on. So this is depending on the total amount of your portfolio. So silver here is 5,000 to the maximum level is diamond, $250,000 in portfolio size. So I like the social trading feature of eToro, although I haven't used the copy portfolio yet. I mainly use eToro for cryptocurrency because they have a lot of cryptocurrency available, and the fee is much lower compared to Revolut for buying Bitcoin, for example. And in eToro, I could just buy it for 0.75% fee. Other than that, one thing that I don't like beside the high currency conversion fee is they combine the investment and the CFD account in one. So unlike trading 212, where you have CFD and invest account clearly separated, and in eToro, it's combined into one. So when you buy, make sure that you're buying the underlying asset. I think if you're new, it's good to try it first using their virtual account so you can get familiar yourself with how the trading platform work, because it's very easy to do to buy like CFD position instead if you are not careful, and because they don't really warn you. And also avoid using leverage unless you fully understand what it is. So I would recommend against using it, because leverage would just multiply the risk, especially if your position go down in value. So last but not least, Trade Republic. So Trade Republic is available for residents of Germany, Austria, and France. And it has a fixed transaction fee of €1, regardless of the volume or the number of shares you buy. So it only supports mobile application though. So let's check it out how it looks. So there's not much charting tools available here. It just lists all the investment position that you have, and they actually have like a bank license. So in order to deposit money to your account, you need to transfer to a specific account associated with your Trade Republic account. And from my experience, it's usually available sometimes even within a day if you transfer early enough. One of the great features that I like from Trade Republic is saving plan. And it's great for buying ETF or even stock, because you can just schedule buying shares or ETF on a fixed amount on a certain schedule that you set. And you can see that a lot of options are available for saving plans. So let's say if we want to buy Apple stock, and yeah, it shows you the price. There's not much information available in terms of financial detail of the company. There is standard feature to buy with a market or limit order, and with saving plan as well, which is one of the features that I like. So you can set twice a month, monthly, or quarterly. I use it mainly for buying ETF, but I think it's good to buy stocks as well for long-term investment. It takes emotion out of the way, because the process of buying is always scheduled and automatic. And another plus from Trade Republic is they collect capital gain tax automatically for me, so I don't have to worry about end of year tax declaration. And the tax certificate that they provide, I can readily use to fill in my capital gain detail when I do the tax declaration. So that was a lot of information. Hopefully it helps you in deciding the right stock brokerage for you. There's no such thing as the perfect stock brokerage. At times, it might make sense to have more than one because, for example, not all of the stocks or ETF that you want to buy is available on your main stock brokerage. You could have a second one to complement it. So that's all from me. Hopefully this is helpful. If you have any suggestion or feedback, feel free to leave them on the comment down below. And good luck with your investment.